Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where we are currently in need of dealing with some of these abandoned properties, I think. So hopping down over here to our very teeny tiny dense residential area, I think that the primary issue over in this area is simply that it's just small homes. I'm not sure there's anything we can do about that, to be honest. I think that just is. So out over this direction, what do we got going on? Okay, that's just a random abandonment, probably due to noise pollution. Hi, pause menu. And out over here, walking distance to elementary school. Fair enough, but we're probably not going to address that for that one house. Okay, this is currently condemned due to being in the wrong zone or outside of the zoning grid. Okay, well that's fixed. No problem there. And then down over this way, this building has collapsed. I'm wondering, yeah, that's collapsed. It's already been dealt with. So we'll just get rid of that. No problem. There's a fire over here that didn't get put out. How are we doing on our fire coverage over this way? We could probably toss in an extra firehouse over here. There we go. That'll be absolutely fine. Now, out over this direction is where our primary issues lie. So what do we have going on here? High noise pollution. That's the entirety of it. It's just noise pollution out over here. Yeah, that's probably exactly what's going on. A lot of that seems to happen in these newer neighborhoods, and that goes down over time, I've noticed. So that might be, like, the neighborhood settling in or something like that. I did not mean to eliminate that road. Let's get that rebuilt. So that's just going to go in right about here, but I don't think that's in the right place. This is just going to be slightly offset, I think. Yeah, let's bring it in like that. That'll be fine. Okay, slightly offset is not the end of the world at this time. Again, in these newer neighborhoods, this seems to just generally happen. And this might have to do with, like, noise pollution from construction or something. That one didn't need to get eliminated, but whatever. This has been collapsed, and we can get rid of it. Okay, good to know. Up over this direction, yep, this is pretty much the same story. I think that this is mostly just new neighborhood woes. So we'll get rid of that and get all of those going. This might be noise pollution here. Yeah, fair enough, there's a police station right here. So that actually has a source of noise pollution, which is nice. And we'll just get rid of these couple of structures here. Beyond that, everything out over here looks pretty good. Out this direction, they're unhappy due to polluted air. They're starting to get up into that pollution zone. So this is unsurprising out over here. In fact, this really shouldn't be zoned in this way. I'm going to make this be zoned commercial instead. From about here. This out over this way really should not be residential. So we'll just put in some commercial there. That'll be fine. We could also arguably put in some additional commercial up this direction. And I'm going to do exactly that. So we're just going to pop in commercial up over here. About like that. That'll do for now. Cool. So we're going to need more residential, right? There's no doubt about that. As I apparently hit my knee on my desk. Ouch. We're going to need more residential, and we can see that this area out here has gotten fully developed at this point. This area has not, which is not surprising. Okay. We can definitely extend out this highway here, and we can develop this area. I think that's a reasonable thing to do at this time. So let's take this highway out to about here or so. No, we're probably going to have issues here, but that's fine for now. I'm just wanting to extend this guy straight on down. Ah. Yes. Okay. This area is indeed going to need to be rebuilt. Okay. So we're going to need to get this extended out and make sure that this is actually keeping its altitude. So we're going to want it to be something kind of like that instead. There's still going to be a problem here. So we'll just see about connecting this from here. Much better. We may have some pillar issues, but that's nothing that we can't deal with. Okay, and then we'll just extend this highway directly on out to right there. Awkward intersection is awkward, but we're going to replace it with a roundabout, obviously. So this is causing significant issues in both directions here, which is a problem. I think we're going to have to take this and extend this guy out over here a bit. But we're going to have to take this section out. There we go. And then extend this guy out over this way a little ways. Then bring this back in.
You're tuned into Second Moon.
Like that. And hopefully now this will work. Slope too steep on these two sides, but we can deal with that. That's not actually an issue. So we'll just knock those back a little bit, and we'll put this in. And then we can connect this back up over here, but that is currently sloped too steep. We may have to just take that completely out and rebuild that side. That's not the end of the world. But this side we can bring in, and then this side would come out over this way, right? And this would end up being somewhere around here, which for the time being is fine. This does need to get redone, though. This is not acceptable at this moment. So we're going to do something like that. There we go. That'll do for now. Next, what we need to do is we need to take this road down. So that will be coming down this direction to be about here, 112. And then here should be approximately 112. This should end up being like 224, right? So that ends up being here. And then this will be 224 as well. But really, this road needs to come down to that same point. Yeah. So that's 336. That is correct. And then that gets connected over here. Now, we've definitely got some height issues over here with the terrain. And we can take these out for the moment. And now that we have these positions, that'll be very, very quick and easy to rebuild. I'm just going to soften the terrain out over this way. We'll just smooth that right on out. I'm not expecting this area to be, like, this is not going to stave off our housing demand for a huge amount of time. That's something we need to definitely be keeping in mind here. It simply isn't. Now, this road here, we can bring down 112 meters to right here. And we can use that to come over this way, right? So the idea would be that we put that there as a marker. I believe we had a pillar issue here, though. Yes. Maybe. Yes. That's not a pillar at all. That's just straight up sitting on a block of concrete. Okay, well, we're just going to move this right on over. We don't want the blocks of concrete. So right about here should be good. There we go, and we'll just extend that back in. Cool. Now, this out over here will eventually get dealt with, but we're just trying to develop, for now, this area over here, right? So that's okay. We can certainly bring this street down. And that would come down to about here-ish. 336. Yes. And come in right there. Now, this area definitely does need to get dealt with. So to that end, let's grab the slope terrain tool here. And I'm going to turn up the brush size a fair amount. We're going to go something kind of like that. And then we're going to soften this out quite extensively. Okay. Now we're going to need to rebuild these sections of road. I'm going to leave this one as a marker for now, but we're probably going to need to rebuild that. So I'm going to take this guy down and line it up here to be right there. Now we no longer need this marker because we can bring this guy over to here. Hang on. We can bring this guy down, actually. This is where we want this to be. So that's 216 meters. Okay. Well, we're a little off center anyway, so it's fine. It's definitely fine to be skewing that direction. I want this guy to be... Boy. Angle snap? Yeah, it's going to be a little crooked. That's fine. We know that we're not going to have these perfect at this point. Like, it's not going to happen. It's absolutely not. So we can extend this road over to here, and then it can go over this way. We'll want this to go 112 meters, but 115 is apparently the closest we're going to get. Which is reasonably fine. But we can put this at 114. Pillar issue here. Not shocked about that. This is why I say that I really should build the small roads first, before building the highway. I say as I put the highway back, and we're probably still going to have a pillar issue. Yes, we are indeed. That's why I should build the small roads first. Okay, so we bring this guy in like so. Then we can put the highway back. And then we can bring this road over another 112 meters. Like that. And then 90 degrees is an overlapping item right here. Okay. So that means that there's a pillar issue right there. So this guy would need to come up 100, or actually 224 meters. But we are going to run into a problem over here. And specifically, that problem is that we're going to need to have a road out here. And that road is going to need to curve its way over here. And then it's going to need to eventually come under here. I think for right now, I want to bring this road northward. So that'll be merging in there. We may want to just leave it like this. Or perhaps merging it in from here. Curve tool. And then bringing it in like that. Honestly, I think this works. So that'll be okay. We'll just extend this guy on out. And then this road here would extend, in theory, 224 meters this way, right? We can knock this highway back slightly. It's very confused about what that means, but sure. I'm going to put this at, I think, about... Well, I'm going to put it at, like, 111 here. Okay. And then we can definitely build a curve that comes out something like that. I'm not going to develop this area right away, although maybe we should. Yeah, we probably should. So that would mean bringing this guy... This is, I think, at a jaunty angle. Hang on a moment. Let's knock this out of here for right now. And let's try this one more time from here. Angle snap only. And I want this to be at 224. There. Out over this way, 224. Like that. And in fact, this can just connect directly over here, right? So that would be out over this way. Let's get rid of that for the moment. And then we can go into curve tool, turn snapping back on, and bring this guy out to be something kind of like that. Okay, that will do. I think that's going to be significantly better. I mean, we're still off center with the highway, but it'll do for now. These can get in here like that. There, that'll do. That will definitely do. I'd like to bring this road all the way down, like, to the water here, almost. So, really, that would mean bringing this road over as far as it kind of can. So, like, here. And then using the curve tool and bringing that up over here. And then just bringing this guy basically straight down from here. Right? And then connecting these in. Which, I'm going to redo this curve, but that's absolutely fine. So that ends up going kind of like that. In theory. Cool. We'll just extend this road down as well. We may as well, since we're in this area. Hang on, that's a curve tool. No curve tool, please. Thank you. Okay, something kind of like that. Then this should get extended down 112 meters. That slope too steep, though. I mean, this does have a pretty far fall off, so we may want to terraform this area and go for, like, the level terrain tool, grabbing, like, say, this height here. And I'm going to turn this down to 100 brush size. And we're just going to carve ourselves out a little bit of an area here. Now I'm going to use the slope terrain tool, and we're just going to slope this right on down. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, this is very imperfect. Very, very imperfect. Okay. Now I'm going to soften this all out. Something along the lines of this. And we'll see if that makes it any better. There's also some water right near the surface over here. We'll see about that. That might end up getting changed. But for the moment, I want to attempt to bring this guy down 112 meters. It's probably, actually it works, but there is a bridge here. Okay, so there's just a little bit too much drop off right here, which is kind of unsurprising, really. Let's get rid of these streets yet again, and we'll reconnect this. But I want to soften this first. Okay, something kind of like that. Cool. There's a lot of land drop-off here, right? That's not surprising, but there definitely is a lot of it. And we'll just bring these roads right back in. Okay, that'll do for now. Then we can think about extending this road, ideally, down south 112 meters. There we go. And then this is going to jut over this direction, 224 meters, ideally. It's kind of lining up at 226. I guess we'll call that okay. And then we'll just bring that in there. Okay, so let's bring this down again, 112 meters. And then we'll bring this over to here, 225, sure. And then run that down to the city limits for right now. Okay, so something like that. Now, of course, we can extend this highway. And I'm going to do this in angle snap only mode. Overlapping items, huh? Okay, we'll just put it right there. Cool. So that'll do for now. Now we can get these roads built over this way. So I'm going to take this down 112 meters and then over 220 meters, which I guess is fine. And then we're going to continue to bring this guy over. That can just get connected in right here. At this point, I think that this is going to be the final location that we can bring this particular road over. So now what we're going to need to do is use like the complex curve tool and just get ourselves, we could actually use simple curve here and connect this in like down this way, right? So that can go about there, and then complex curve here, which is going to bring this guy down about like so. And then I would want this to come down about here or so. And just kind of following this shoreline. Okay, so something along the lines of that. Now we can go back into the straight line tool, and we can bring this down to be about there. There. And there. This will, of course, need to be connected. That comes back as slope too steep. Okay, I can't say I'm shocked about that, but it's definitely a thing that is happening. So the question is, what do we want to do about it? Well, we could definitely grab the slope terrain tool and just see if that fixes it on its own. And it does. That allows us to build that road. Fantastic. Then we'll soften around this road a bit. And checking in on our building squares, they look good. Yeah, no problem there. Fantastic. So this area is nearly ready to go. We're going to need some on-off ramps, of course, and we're going to need to push this guy out over here. Do we even want to extend a road this way? I think there's probably no point. So we'll call that... I don't know. Maybe the road should terminate up over here. I don't like this section. Which means that what we want to do here is soften the terrain out over here just a little bit. Of course, this building is terraforming a lot, but we should probably just extend this road up to, like, I don't like this extension, but perhaps this extension. That works. Kind of. It kind of works. Okay, we're going to need to bring this road up and merge that in here. There we go. And then, of course, we're going to need to finish off this area. So let's use the curve tool, and we're just going to bring this down to the city limits down here. Then straight line tool, bringing this over 112 meters, if we can. 111 is close enough. And then we'll just bring this down to the city limits. And then this guy probably just connects over here. Yeah, absolutely. And then this guy would just connect right here. Okay, so that'll do for this little area. Now, this is intended to all be light commercial, or not light commercial, light residential, right? So that's absolutely fine. What is this thing? This is a cemetery? I kind of want to get rid of it. I'm strongly considering getting rid of this cemetery and replacing it with a crematorium. Let's do it. That's going to make a lot of people upset, obviously. But let's just soften out this terrain, and we're going to replace this with one or more crematoriums. I think that'll be much better. Crematoriums do produce air pollution. We need to remember that. So if we were to put the crematorium down here, it will produce some amount of air pollution. It's low air pollution, though. And so we could probably get away with cramming one in here. Oh, hi, Milestone 16. And we can probably also get away with cramming one somewhere up over this direction. Like perhaps here. Yeah, that should do the trick. And then we can also bump up additional incinerators. Boom. A hearse garage. And where would we want to attach that? Kind of wouldn't. We could put it up over this way, but it's going to run into problems. I think we're not going to do that. We'll just do that for now, and then we'll upgrade this guy into an additional incinerator. And yeah, I'm not going to put a hearse garage here. That's going to create sizing issues in this area, and I would prefer to avoid that for the time being. So that, of course, means that we can develop this area down this way, right? And I want it here, actually. Okay, so this road can be run over to approximately here. Okay, these angles are very awkward. Very awkward indeed. I think that we should take this out and run it from here instead. Okay, so let's bring this guy right on out. Angle snapping that. Yeah, this is much, much better. So we could put it over to about here, right? That is an option. We are going to run into some issues doing it that way. So if we do this, we can see that we definitely have some land drop-off issues here. And if we attempt to connect this in here, surprisingly, it lets us do it. But the terrain here is not great for that, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get rid of all of these structures that are right over here. And I would like to terraform this area just a wee bit. And then I'm going to use the slope terrain tool down to this height. and we're just going to create ourselves some slopes there, and then we'll soften that back out. Cool. Something along the lines of that. This road can now connect down over here much more cleanly. Excellent. This road is obviously not going to connect due to the police station. Not much we can do about that. But the rest of these roads absolutely can connect. One right here. One right here. This is going to be a highway. But then this road can connect right here. Cool. This highway is going to head over, and it's going to want to, like, head into here. We're probably not going to cross the river over here. But we are going to need to connect up this highway, for sure. However, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to wrap up our development of this area over here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALVS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.